They say the American dream is to own a home. White picket fence, dog in the yard, maybe even a neighbor that borrows your lawnmower and never gives it back. But in 2025, that dream can be more of a nightmare. Sky-high prices, mortgage rates that feel like credit card interest, and houses that sit on Zillow like leftovers sit in the fridge. So, is buying a home still the dream, or should we be dreaming differently in 2025? What's up guys, it's Jake from Money Talks, and in today's video, we're talking about buying a house in 2025. Is it possible, and is it even a good idea? So if you've ever gotten any type of financial advice from anyone, and I mean anyone, more than likely you've heard someone tell you, buy a house. It's a great investment. And to be fair, that was probably not a bad idea for the majority of time up until fairly recently. But today, it's not so simple. Today, you have to consider a lot more than you did before to determine if you can actually afford a house and if your financial situation will be elevated by buying a house, or if buying a house would be effectively keeping you from ever generating any significant amount of wealth. Now, buying a home isn't always a bad idea, but it really depends on a calculation that's specific to your situation. From your savings and income stability to how long you plan to stay in one place. There are a few key questions I want you to ask yourself if you're considering buying a home in 2025. Question number one, do you want to buy a house to live in, or do you want to buy real estate to invest in? I can't tell you how frustrating it is to hear these two things constantly conflated. Look, is it possible to make money on a personal residence? Yes. But generally speaking, it's not a great investment strategy. And before I get someone in the comments who bought a house in 2009 and it appreciated by zillions of dollars, the housing market rising in crazy ways, for instance, coming out of the 2008 recession or the 2020 pandemic, had people thinking it's normal for your house to appreciate by several hundreds of thousands each year. That doesn't usually happen. If you look at the total real estate market over the last 50 years, houses on average only appreciate by about 5% each year, barely beating inflation. So if you're buying a house for yourself today, it's not because you're gonna get rich doing so. It's more of a want than a need. And it's more of a life decision than an investment strategy. By the way guys, I coach people on personal finance and getting their money situation together. So if you need help managing your money and not making horrible financial decisions, DM me on any of the socials at Money Talks Jake for help organizing your finances and taking control of your money. Question number two, how much house can you actually afford? So the median home price in America is about $410,000. And in California, that's over $900K. So just know there's gonna be some variation depending on where you live. Now, when you go looking to get qualified for a mortgage, a broker is likely gonna use some kind of a calculation to determine how much of a loan you can take out. But I can't stress this enough. Do not just blindly listen to what a mortgage broker or a real estate agent has to say. They want your money. They don't care if you can actually afford this house. You have to factor in any and all costs when you run the numbers. Of course, you'll have interest on the mortgage. Interest rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is about 6.26% at the time of me recording this video. On average, expect to spend about 1 to 4% of your home's value on maintenance and repairs each year, and expect to pay anywhere from 0.5% to a full percent for homeowners insurance, and another 1% for property taxes. And especially if you get a condo or a townhouse, you also have stupid HOA fees. Now, once all those numbers are calculated, add the down payment in there and you'll have a full picture of what it may cost you to own this home. Now you can apply those numbers to something like the 28% rule, which is common with mortgages, basically saying all that stuff shouldn't add up to more than 28% of your gross monthly income. Caveat here, I hate making calculations based on gross income. I think it's a really dumb way to operate. Calculate what you can afford based on the money that actually hits your account each month. That makes way more sense to me. And question number three, what are the opportunity costs? This question is why I wouldn't personally buy a home in 2025. Opportunity costs are basically what you're giving up for making this decision. So take the down payment you'd pay and the monthly total housing expenses, minus the amount you pay just renting somewhere, and look at what you make on average putting that extra money into, let's say, an index tracking fund in the stock market. Now, I live in California, so there's a chance this could be different for some of you. But for me, every calculation I've made on homes has had a substantial loss compared to if I just kept renting and invested the money saved into the stock market. So all in all, the most important thing I can say is run the numbers. Buying a home can be a terrible decision, especially today. It's no longer a no-brainer. It can actually get you into a worse financial position than before, keeping you house poor, stifling your financial growth, and we don't want that. So ask yourself those 3 questions before you sign on the dotted line. And you can watch this video right here to learn how to manage your money effectively. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.